Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Scorpios, we're going to take a look at a no contact situation, guys. And we shall see. Scorpio, I believe I had to take down one of your guys' videos as well because there's been this glitch in processing. I know YouTube is working behind the scenes, sorting some stuff out, and things are getting better and better. But I think I'll have to wait a bit and then re-release that video for you. So I'm sorry that I had to make it invisible and then take it back down. But little glitches happen here and there. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. But let's get into this no contact situation. We have an 8 of Pentacles upright. So this is kind of from their perspective all week because of the backdrop that we've got. I really want to see what we get here. With that 8 of Pentacles upright, we have somebody who's kind of sitting here bummed during this no contact time. And they have this picture, though, of themselves sitting here still feeling bummed. They're sitting on a motorcycle. I almost think that this person feels like they've been waiting for a really, really long time. Normally, an 8 of Pentacles is like, I'm doing all this work. But I feel like in this case, their work has been to wait. I don't know if they're waiting for Scorpio to talk to them or what. We have a 4 of Wands in the reverse. We have a 10 of Pentacles upright. We have a 4 of Cups. Okay, I'm very sorry, but in this storyline, Scorpio, it looks like they're waiting until Scorpio comes back to give them some more of Scorpio's sweet, sweet energy, some more of those sweet biscuits. That's how this comes on. That doesn't look great because why do you think that your only job here is to chill out and wait until Scorpio comes back to give to me some more? There's nothing I would need to change. I mean, we just got to wait till Scorpio brings me back their luscious neck. This is my vampire card, which is why I'm saying it that way. They want to have a 10 of Pentacles, but in their mind, at least in this fictional story, they think Scorpio is withholding their luscious nectar and bring it back because I really miss Scorpio's luscious nectar. I sit here waiting for when will they bring it back. I am not content. I desire luscious nectar. Bring me your energy. This is, I'm bummed. I'm missing out. But we don't see them doing anything, even though normally that 8 of Pentacles would be a card of somebody who's working through, the thought process. They're reflecting, they're, considering what needs to happen, what needs to change. Why is Scorpio gone? But this person just seems to be waiting for Scorpio to come back and bring their luscious nectar. Okay. Let me take a look at why do you think Scorpio is no longer in your life at the moment? 9 of Wands, Queen of Cups. Scorpio is hiding their niceness. Scorpio withdrew. With the 9 of Wands, they're like, I think Scorpio, they must have been bothered by something. They had some wounds of their own. So I know they still love me, though, but they withdrew from me. I don't really know why. See how Scorpio's kind of hiding the reason why. But I know Scorpio really loves me. I don't know that I think that that's a good way to look at this. I kind of feel like this person is, Pepe Le Pew in their way through this. Remember, Pepe Le Pew, the little cartoon, he's like, moi, when he finds out he's the one who stinks. Pepe's a little skunk, but he has no idea that he's the odoriferous one. And I kind of feel that vibe going on. High Priestess. They are correct about one thing. They're like, I can tell Scorpio cares about me. I can feel Scorpio's love that they want to give to me. So that's how I know Scorpio's out there wanting to give to me. While that could be true, that still doesn't mean that they aren't overlooking a really important component, which could have been Scorpio's like, man, I wish I could keep giving you love. But honestly, I can't if you're not going to step up and share energy with me. I don't know if that's the story yet. Let's actually turn our attention to Scorpio for just a moment. Scorpio, from Scorpio's perspective, why did this connection stop? 6 of Swords, Scorpio said, I'm sorry, but I had to protect me, my dog, and my kids from overgiving. I had to move on. The angels guided me. I'm being protected. I had to let this person go for a period of time. I had to move on because it was really stressful and I needed my life to be calmer. Yes, I love them. Queen of Cups. Scorpio does come across as a Queen of Cups in their mind, and Scorpio says, of course I love them, but I also needed to move on. Why, Scorpio? Maybe because I love myself too. King of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, because they need to realize what they need to give. They have to come to this conclusion. If they're going to be a King of Swords and be able to give to us, give to the family, contribute something, they need to recognize what that would look like. So I'm going to stand by my first interpretation. Scorpio had to walk away from somebody who is all about themselves, not about recognizing that a relationship is about giving. It's also about protecting. I almost feel like, even though Scorpio is not saying anything in a negative here, I'm going to put it in that context and say Scorpio is only focusing on what they would like to receive from a partner, right? But I'm going to put it in the negative and say, here's what was missing. I think Scorpio said, I had to move on because it was stressing me out in a really big way, even though I loved this person, because it's like they have no concept of what their role is supposed to be. They should be protecting the connection. They should be, a grown up. They should be truthful and honorable. They should be caring about not only me, but about the life that we're nurturing and building together. It's not me nurturing them and me nurturing the relationship and me creating this nice nest for them to enjoy. They're supposed to be participating and protecting this. And if they can't do those things, then I can't stay. I'm putting it in the negative, even though Scorpio is so much more graceful and is putting it all in the positive, saying these are the things that I look forward to receiving. And I'm saying, but those are also the things that Scorpio didn't receive, and that's why they had to move along. And it just seems like this person, even in this time of no contact, they just think Scorpio's dealing with something. I don't know what it is, but I know Scorpio loves me. So I'm just really bummed out waiting for them to come back. Lots of times we have those stories where we have characters that, when there is a problem and, characters go no contact, they think about stuff and they change their behaviors and they contemplate deeply. But this person just seems to be twiddling thumbs, just waiting for the sweet nectar to be returned to them. No thought about what they need to do. No thought about what they need to maybe change, at least not right now during this time of no contact. Let me put it this way. Scorpio, are you ever going to reach out to them? Or is this like, look, if they can let me go and not change any of their behaviors, then Scorpio says this could be the end. I'm resisting reaching out to them because I know if I do, it will be me allowing them back in without, showing that these things need to change. I feel like Scorpio didn't want to tell them like this, and this is what you must do, because they still seem oblivious. I feel as if Scorpio's like, if by nature they don't want to like step up and recognize that they're supposed to be caring about me, the relationship, if we have kids together, all those things, if they don't know and naturally want to do that, I'm not going to stand there and demand it of them, shame them, yell at them, train them. I'm not doing any of that, but I am refusing to let myself reach out to them and tell them those things. But this could very well be the last time we talk, because I won't be reaching out to them. I'm not looking them up. I'm not trying to make sure that they understand why I withdrew. They should be able to understand and naturally want to give. And if they don't, maybe it's because they're selfish. Maybe it's because they need to grow up. And I don't want to raise an adult. I want them to care enough. Show me that you care. Show the relationship that this matters, instead of just taking from me. Because if I come back, they'll keep taking from me. I do think it's very hard for Scorpio to have this boundary and to acknowledge if they never make a change, then that's the end of the line for us. But I think that's where Scorpio's at. The moon, and Scorpio literally says, and I don't know what will happen. I don't know if this person will have the awakening. I'm trying not to predict what they will do because it's up to them as to who they want to become. Okay, let's go back over to them for just a minute and we'll change decks. So you're kind of chilling. You're kind of kicking it, waiting for Scorpio to come on home and give you some more good loving. The only thing that we saw here is that they're intuitive enough to know that Scorpio does love them. They could be a Pisces, they could be a Virgo, they could be a Cancer. Those are the only major arcana energies there. There's a lot of minor arcana for them. So, and we have a Two of Pentacles. It's so interesting because this is a great depiction, right? Half of this is a poisonous mushroom, the other half isn't. This person, like they are 50-50. They know that Scorpio's amazing. They know that Scorpio loves them. They know that they want this beautiful, wonderful Scorpio. But then the poisonous side is they have no concept, no self-awareness of, then why don't you make sure that you do things that would make Scorpio want to be with you? Do the sweet little things. Make sure that you're a contributing member to the relationship. This almost feels like somebody that was raised very entitled, but they're actually a nice person. You know, they're not like manipulative or selfish on purpose. It's just like they literally have no concept outside of their own, like, oh, this is so nice. Oh, I love that Scorpio, and I know that Scorpio loves me, and they're so wonderful, and they're just going through something. I just, oh man, I wish he'd hurried up and get back to me, because man, I love that person. Ten of Pentacles again. I'm wondering if this character has come from a very like affluent background. Maybe they're a silver spoon baby. Maybe they were a very, you know, like they don't have real common sense, or let me say, they didn't live in the real world that most of us do, where we know what it feels like to really stress out about money and, you know, security, and we know what it feels like to pay a bunch of bills that we've got to, you know, be on a treadmill to try to earn enough money to pay for. Maybe this looks like they've come from a castle where like everything is quite perfect for them. Maybe they have other people that provide them with their needs, so those basic necessities have always been granted to them. When you never hunger for anything, especially those baseline security measures, you know, secure housing, you know, knowing where your meals are going to come from, you know, if you haven't had any of those concerns, it doesn't mean that you're oblivious to them. You know, you can still be a very empathic, compassionate person, but and this person seems nice, but they seem oblivious to, like, they take for granted that, of course, nobody has to worry about money because I don't have to, or I don't worry about my housing situation. I've never had to. I don't feel the need to struggle for stuff because I never had to. That could be a fundamental difference. And so it's really just this lack of awareness. It's not to be mean. It's not to be selfish. It's just sometimes you don't know what you don't know if you haven't walked in shoes of hardship. They seem very out of touch. They do. But at the same time, they're like, but Scorpio's an empress. Scorpio's amazing. I would never dream that Scorpio has needs and that Scorpio has, you know, an empire that they desperately need to, you know, to build it. They had to do it themselves. I'm wondering if Scorpio's like a self-made man or woman. I'm wondering if Scorpio gives off this vibe that like, I've achieved everything. You know, maybe Scorpio did a lot to build their life to look amazing. You know, maybe Scorpio has, you know, they're always clean, well kept. They're, you know, they have a place to live. They've created a career path for themselves. They've done all these things, but it was never handed to them. I think Scorpio was like, they had to scrape and scrimp and save and work 10 times harder and try to get to where they are. But all this person sees is Scorpios. What do you mean? They have a whole empire. Scorpio's not like in need of anything. Scorpio's tons of abundance to share with me. And because in their mind, they've always known abundance and they think everybody has that, especially someone who appears to have that. I almost think they have never considered what does it take to actually earn your abundance. And I believe, on one hand, to their credit, they think the world of Scorpio. Also, to their credit, they are not trying to be selfish or, you know, childlike minded, where they have no concept of where money comes from. I just think they have been somehow very, very insulated from the real world. And Scorpio hasn't. But because Scorpio looks so amazing, they believe Scorpio walks in the same kind of like protected, sheltered, naive world that they do. And that's where there's this difference that is like night and day. I don't see this person as a bad sort, not at all. They just seem very unrealistic, but it's only because of their own background. Justice. And right now, they still think it's not very nice that Scorpio's not giving me their sweet, sweet nectar. Scorpio's an empress. They have tons to give to me. Why are they being stingy with their love? How come they don't come back and love on me? Scorpio has this whole beautiful empire they can share with me. How come they're not? It's weird that they feel like the wronged party right now. Okay, this is mind-blowing right now. Oh, this person's very out of touch. Let me ask this. Universe, since we have seen Scorpio is withdrawn from this person, and I got to unbury the deck that I'm looking for. Okay, so since we have seen that this person is in this place where they're feeling like Scorpio is being mean and intentionally withholding a bit, they feel kind of wronged at the moment because they really want Scorpio back. will they see this differently at any point in time, or is this an important lesson? And we have the High Priestess, which says, okay, there are some things that will shine through at some point. Prince of Swords. They may actually end up having a sudden epiphany that maybe they should have been picking up on the cues along the way. What is going to help them have this sudden epiphany that, oh my God, what if I'm the jerk here? 10 of Wands. I don't know if somebody is actually going to like tell them something about Scorpio and Scorpio's life. Maybe somebody is going to, like a family is going to actually set them straight, or somebody in Scorpio's world is going to be like, what do you mean do you really not know anything about Scorpio's background? Do you not know how hard they have to work? Do you not know they were like a single parent raising their own kids? Do you not know that Scorpio has done like so much? I mean, they make it look easy, but I knew that Scorpio worked 3 jobs, worked all night, went to one of their jobs with their baby on their back. Do you not understand what Scorpios had to do? They maybe don't, bellyache about it, but this Scorpio has been amazing. Do you not realize we got 2 10s? Okay, so they're definitely having this huge epiphany where they will never see Scorpio nor the world around them the same way. And I almost feel like either it suddenly strikes them like, wait a minute, Scorpio's always taking care of everything. Hang on, wait a minute. Everybody cares about Scorpio. Scorpio gives their time and energy to others. Scorpio's a part of their community. Scorpio's doing all these things. And I never thought to question, how does Scorpio get the time for that? How do they devote so much of themselves? It feels like they are finally having this epiphany that for Scorpio to be this awesome person, it's because they give a ton, even if they're exhausted, no matter what. And I feel like they're finally understanding why, where does that energy come from? And what would that take to be the amazing person that Scorpio actually is? I keep feeling though, like somebody, because this can be about words and communication, I keep feeling like somebody gives them like a much needed reality check on who Scorpio is. Like, you do know that they like raise their kids alone. They built that business from scratch. They're a huge part of the community. They do all these different community activities. They're somebody who gives back all the time. And it might be enough to be like, oh my God, Scorpio gives and gives and gives. And I've been over here wanting them to keep giving to me without realizing I should be more like Scorpio. I should be giving. Look, they will have this epiphany. I don't know if they will be a good matchup for Scorpio though, because one epiphany doesn't necessarily mean that like they suddenly shift behavior and become just like Scorpio. But I think to at least appreciate and value Scorpio the proper way, that is coming from what we can see. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.